This lie is a dangerous lie. It's the lie that you're a victim. You are not powerless, because designing a life you actually want, yeah, it's hard. So get serious and ask yourself, what hard am I choosing? Choose the one that leads somewhere you actually want to go. This is The Unhappy American, a short-run podcast calling out the lies, flipping the script, and giving you real tools to take your happiness back. Because you don't need to do more, you need to do different. Subscribe now, not to the life they told you to want, but to the one you choose. Life is hard. Working 60 hours a week for someone else, that's hard. Starting your own thing from scratch, that's hard. Setting boundaries, hard. Living with burnout and resentment, also hard. The difference, some of those are yours and the others are cages. Most of us walk around believing we're stuck. Stuck in this job, stuck in this city, stuck in this version of ourselves. But stuck is often just a story we tell ourselves to avoid making a different choice. You're not stuck. You're choosing. Choosing what's familiar, choosing what costs less today, even if it empties you tomorrow. And guess what? Default is a decision. Going with the flow is a choice. Letting other people design your days, your dreams, your identity, still a choice. And the longer you pretend it's not, the longer you stay exactly where you are. This lie is a dangerous lie. It's the lie that you're a victim. Not in the real trauma-informed sense, but in the passive cultural narrative sense, where life just happens to you, and there's nothing you can do but cope. We've built an entire culture around this kind of powerlessness. A whole language of I can't. I'm just trying to get through the day. It's the system. It's my job. It's the algorithm. It's them. And sure, systems do matter. This isn't toxic positivity or bootstrap nonsense. But we've taken structural realities and turned them into personal identities. Victimhood is no longer just a circumstance, it's a worldview. Victimhood has become a currency, a way to gain attention, avoid responsibility, and justify staying stuck. And when you internalize it, you stop believing in your own agency. You wait for something out there to change so you can finally feel different in here. Here's the truth. You are not powerless. You're just flooded with inputs that benefit when you forget you have a choice. A recent Gallup poll found that nearly 60% of Americans feel overwhelmed by external forces in their lives. Yet that same group reported making no significant changes in habits or environments in the last 90 days. Why? Because victim mode feels safe. It absolves us of responsibility. It makes us feel seen even as we stay stuck. But stuck is still a decision. You can choose to save a little at a time instead of spiraling into debt. You can choose to speak up instead of stewing in silence. You can choose to let go of the version of your life that fits someone else but never really fit you. You can choose. We've been sold the lie that happiness is handed to some and not to others. That ease is a lottery. That fulfillment is about luck. And that's how we end up thinking life is something to survive, not something to design. But you are the designer. And your design starts the moment you stop waiting for someone else to fix it for you. So what changes when you own your agency? When you start designing your life? You stop waiting to feel ready. You stop blaming other people for how you feel. You stop letting the easiest option win just because it's familiar. And you start asking better questions. What am I tolerating? What am I avoiding? Where am I choosing comfort at the cost of growth? And you start practicing something really powerful. Intentional hard. The kind that builds something. The kind that moves the needle. The kind that makes you feel proud when your head hits the pillow at night. Because designing a life you actually want, yeah, it's hard. Harder than default. Harder than people-pleasing. Harder than staying numb. But believe me, it's worth it. Your happiness is worth it. You don't need a complete life redesign tomorrow. You just need to tell the truth today. So get serious and ask yourself, what hard am I choosing? Every time you feel overwhelmed, underwhelmed, or resentful, pause. Literally say it out loud. What hard am I choosing right now? Not saving money is hard. So is being stuck financially every month. Staying in a job that drains you is hard. So is risking rejection and applying for something better. Either way, you're choosing hard. So choose the one that leads somewhere you actually want to go. Next, design one thing on purpose this week. It doesn't have to be a total overhaul, just one thing. Choose it, own it, make it yours. Plan your day instead of reacting to it. Schedule rest before your body forces it. Make a meal instead of eating over the sink again. Small choices compound. And the more you design your life, the less you tolerate what was never designed for you. And leaders model intentional choices. Stop glorifying burnout and autopilot. In your team meetings, ask, what are we choosing to focus on this week? And what are we intentionally letting go of? Create a culture where conscious choice is valued more than default hustle. Because teams that own their choices, they don't just perform better. They stay longer, they grow stronger, and they build things that matter. Let them choose their hard. Better yet, choose your hard together. In case it hasn't sunk in yet, here's your wake-up call. You are not stuck. You're choosing. Maybe not consciously, maybe not intentionally, but every day you stay on autopilot, you're casting a vote for the version of your life you already know. And I get it. Victimhood is seductive. It gives you a story. It gives you community. It gives you permission to opt out of the pressure, the grind, the responsibility of designing something better. But it also takes your agency, your power, and your joy. If you're always the one being acted on, you never become the one who acts on purpose. And that's what most people miss. Default is a decision. So is staying silent. So is scrolling instead of resting. So is numbing instead of asking, what do I really want? Every life is hard. But you choose your hard. Letting your health slide is hard. So is committing to movement and nourishment. Being underpaid and overlooked is hard. So is advocating for yourself and hearing no. Working for someone else's dream is hard. So is risking your own. You don't get to skip the hard. None of us do. But you do get to choose the one that leads somewhere. And if no one has told you lately, you're allowed to want more. Not because you're ungrateful, but because you're alive. So take the wheel. Pick your hard on purpose. Choose the hard that builds the life you actually want. Because the moment you stop waiting to be rescued, you start realizing you've been holding the pen this whole time. So, what does a happy American look like? They don't pretend life is easy. They just stop pretending they're powerless. They've stopped waiting to be rescued, stopped hoping someone will fix it for them, stopped blaming the world for what they're not choosing. They know that happiness isn't handed to them. It's built one brave, intentional, inconvenient decision at a time. A happy American knows they don't control everything, but they always control how they meet it. They choose their hard. They own their direction. They live by design, not default. They aren't obsessed with comfort. They're obsessed with freedom. And freedom means choice. So they choose things that stretch them. They choose meaning over convenience, integrity over ease. They choose long-term peace over short-term approval. And joy over numbness every single time. That kind of person, they don't need a perfect life. They just need to know they have agency inside it. Because real happiness isn't ease, it's empowerment. You are not stuck. You are choosing. And every moment you live on autopilot, you're choosing that too. So here's your move. Call your choices what they are. Not I can't, not someday, not that's just how life is. Say, I'm choosing this job over starting the business. I'm choosing burnout over setting boundaries. I'm choosing comfort over change. Then ask yourself, do I like that choice? Is it building the life I actually want? Because you're not a victim of your schedule, your stress, or your story. You're the designer. And every minute you delay is a vote for more of the same. So design better. Make one courageous choice today that reflects who you want to be. Say no, say yes, say what you actually need, name what's not working, and move. And if this episode spoke to you, maybe even yelled at you, I hope you listened. And more than that, I hope you do something with it. Send it to the friend stuck in the loop of I have no choice. To the teammate running on autopilot, to the leader who forgot they hold the pen. Because they're not victims either. They're designers too. They just need the reminder. You have power right now. Use it. Then subscribe to The Unhappy American. Because this isn't about doing more, it's about doing different. It's about remembering that happiness isn't passive, it's built with intention, with action, with choice. You can keep drifting, or you can start designing. It's your move, America. What are you going to do?